Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel. As you can see, we're doing a little bit more Total War Shogun 2. I've re-enabled mixed avatars here. Actually no, I didn't. Oh shoot. I thought I hit the button but I didn't, so this will be another traditional army. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This one's going to be on a river map against a 5-star bronze general. He favors a balanced army and he's a skilled leader, so his army is going to have a lot of leadership bonuses compared to mine. On a river map like this, I just want to switch up my army a tiny bit here. I don't think I need to worry quite as much about cavalry or spears or anything like that, so I'm going to focus a little bit more on my main melee line. I'm going to focus a little bit more on archery. Actually, just going to make some slight adjustments to my army like that, and I'm going to replace these guys with... Where the heck are they? These two. So I'm going to be short 60 again. That's okay. I've sort of stopped worrying too much about using my DLC units because I think I've sort of shown to the point that you can sort of win these battles with very limited troop selection, unless of course you're against those Fall of the Samurai armies, in which case sometimes you need to worry about things that you can't prepare for with your normal army. Anyway, my opponent is all ready up here. I'm ready as well, so let's get this going. Now, I can't actually remember what Kawabe River is like since it's a newer map and I haven't had a chance to play on it yet. So if it turns out that this is not one of those river maps, yeah, okay, well, I was hoping that was going to be one of those river maps where we'd have to fight sort of in the water, but it looks like I can force a fight in these sort of ponds. Hopefully that'll be close enough. The reason I don't like cavalry in river maps is that they get bogged down, they have huge penalties in the water, and they just don't do well at all. So what I've taken instead are archers, which tend to do better, since your opponent has to take longer getting shot by arrows, they take longer to get to your troops, so you can fire more often, and it's in the clear as well. Water does not really provide any cover, so it's a good situation. I can make do in this case. I'll be able to screen my units with my cheap archers, and then I'll be able to push forward with my more expensive samurai. Hopefully he'll get shot up a bit as he tries to approach, and then I'll be able to finish him off in melee. I did take those new samurai that I just got, the Nodachi samurai, and they're a pretty good unit. They don't suffer quite as many penalties when charging through water, which is why I like them more than cavalry in these sort of maps. They still take a big penalty and a big hit, but they provide some shock value that you wouldn't otherwise have with that bonsai charge. So here we go. There's a morale shrine right in the center. Everything, all things considered, I'm going to rush straight for that morale shrine. I'm going to send one of my small units of cheap units over to capture the other one if my opponent doesn't want to contend it at all, and hopefully that'll be everything I need to win this one. Now, my army currently is much more deficient in spears, but I can use this pond if my opponent is using heavy cavalry, so it's not all bad in that regard. And these guys I'm going to put on top of this ridge because I don't want them to take too long to get back to my main army if it turns out that my opponent did bring a lot of cavalry, since I'll need them back with my main force. Okay, get my general. Actually, I want my general behind, or in front of the light cavalry who are going to help guard him. So this army is quite fragile in terms of not being able to muscle its way through cavalry, but it's got a good mix of troops. Now my opponent has taken Yari Ashigaru, Yari Cav, and his bodyguard, and then the rest is hidden, so... Yeah, so there's Donderbus cavalry. He's taken gun cavalry. I won't be able to capture that shrine at all, so I'm just going to rush straight forward for this one. I'm going to send this unit of Bo Ashigaru over to harass them. If he tries to clear them off with the charge, hopefully I'll be able to tie them up with my Naginata attendants. Those are highly veteran, highly upgraded ones, so that could potentially be incredibly unpleasant. But my opponent does have a fairly small army just because of what he's taken. Very, very elite cavalry here. Now, I don't think he can actually capture this because he hasn't dismounted yet. I don't know if he's going to. He's got more Yari Samurai over in the trees. Just going to draw these guys back a little bit. So this is a really sort of sketchy situation for me to be in here. But on the other hand, if I've got my units on these hills, in the trees here, I probably am not going to take too much damage from these guns. My opponent's trying to get an uphill charge into my guys, and he just wiped out half his Yari cavalry with one volley of gunfire, so, you know, this isn't actually all too bad a situation to be in. Oh dear. So this is all getting a little bit silly pretty quickly here. Yeah, those shotguns do a ton of damage. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But on the other hand, he did kill a lot of his own Yari cav, so I'm okay with this. I'm going to continue setting my units up here. Yeah, he's still wasting ammunition on my guys that are routing, so that's perfectly fine by me. He's dismounted, or no, he's brought his Yari Samurai out all the way over there. So, yeah, I can actually just rush my melee units straight forward for his lines there. And if I can get into melee with his Donderbus, with my light cavalry, I will be in a relatively good position here. Let's let my veterans stay by the shrine here for a little while. Okay. Yeah, I think he did get a bit too close. So let's switch over to flaming arrows. And we're just gonna try and get straight into these Ashigaru here. And this is going to be a slightly tricky situation for me here. Going to have to keep up on a variety of things. My opponent's gone the spear wall here, so Bonsai should let me push through it though. Okay, those shotguns have got me, and they've got me pretty good there, but I should be able to punch through in the front here. Unfortunately, I did lose my only cavalry unit, so that means I've lost mobility here. I need to flee my general back before his general, or his Donderbus wipes him out and inspire these guys.
Our general is in grave danger, my lord.
I'm surprised that these guys are as fast as they are. I'm quite surprised by that. And this is going to probably be a loss for me, just because that Donderbus cavalry did so much work. I did not take the correct setup to deal with it, and that's definitely shown off here. Fortunately, those Yari Ashigaru are finally about to break. But looks like my... nope, my samurai are going to first.
Our men are running from the battlefield. Shameful display.
Now, at this point in time, I don't really have a tremendous amount of hope, but, you know, could probably pull off something if I play it a bit carefully here. Yeah, I definitely misread the map and situation in this particular case. But the thing is that once you've got an opponent using those sort of gun cavalry, it's very difficult to deal with it unless you've taken the correct measures against it. I think my opponent might be out of ammunition. Hopefully that'll be the case. We'll have to find out in a second here. I'm just going to keep reforming my units around. Just going to want to try and get another good shot at these Donderbus cavalry. Going to move my general away. I don't want him getting a shot here. My opponent's charging straight in with his general. Not 100% sure on what that's meant to accomplish in particular here. But yeah, just look at that. Yeah.
Shameful display.
The way their shotgun spread works is a little bit funky, but... I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to try and get both these units in the radius of my Inspire, or my Rally. Hopefully he'll shoot his own units again. He's been doing that quite often. It's firing at a bit long range, but it doesn't really matter with my morale so low. Just gonna kite him around a little bit. Looks like I caught his Donderbus cavalry finally. It doesn't really matter at this point in time, because it's still screwed, but you try and do your best. I'm kind of wondering how much ammunition they have. They seem like they have a little bit more than they should, but he might have gotten the upgrade that gives them extra ammunition. And at this point, it's basically GG. I'm just going to let my opponent kill me at this point in time, since it's pretty much a waste of time for me to keep trying here. This is one of those situations where I was a little bit worried that this wasn't actually going to be the kind of river map I expected it to be, and it wasn't, so it's a bit unfortunate. It happens though, so. Oh, may as well go down fighting.
Our entire unit has perished, my lord.
have my archers shoot away at these guys as long as they can. They're doing decent damage too here. These Yari Ashigaru. Gonna turn off charge. I'm just gonna start shooting away. That'll probably be enough to get rid of those Yari Ashigaru with these few volleys. So at this point, there's a silver lining to this cloud. It's a very improbable one, but you know, no point in giving up now, I guess. The thing about the general is he's not that great an archery unit. Is he rallied? I think that's wearing off. Yeah, that was what was wearing off. Alright, well, I'm going to dismount my general. Tighten up these guys, and charge straight down here. Yeah, they've shattered. Now, my general's going to lose here, and that'll be a good game. So this is my first loss in my path to level 10 again. And it was a pretty close game, all things considered. I don't feel too bad about losing this one. Yeah, I need to sort of familiarize myself with the maps a little bit better, since there's a bunch of new ones that I haven't actually tried all that much yet. But this one is one of those cases where if I had 2 light cavalry, it would have been a lot different. And I think that would have made all the difference in this particular case. But since I thought it was a different map than it was, then it didn't work out for me, obviously. Well, let's check the score screen, see which of my units actually are doing okay. I was surprised that my Nodachis did as poorly as they did. I think he was in stand firm, though, so it was probably likely that they just got ground down by that particular instance. Especially since my other Katana unit did push their way through pretty easily. Typically at higher levels, when I'm up against people with gun cavalry, what I usually try and have is mounted archers. But I haven't unlocked them yet, so it's not quite possible in this particular scenario to have countered it with that. And it's always important in higher levels for me to take some of that archery cavalry. I like to take archery cavalry. But you have to unlock it first. Alright, so I've got a new helmet for losing that. I don't really want a veteran Naginata attendant. You never veteran your Naginata attendant units or your sword attendant units. They're just too inexpensive, and their upgrades cost the same. So let's check out our statistics screen. The Donderbus Cavalry is going to have absolutely done complete. Yeah, those things are ridiculously good if you don't have the correct counters to them. In this particular case, I didn't. If they do get tied up by the correct melee units, especially if they get caught by Yari Cavalry, which is what you're supposed to sort of take against them, they don't do anything at all. But I didn't have those in this particular case, so it wasn't possible for me to do that. I'm kind of curious, though, as to why his Yari Ashigaru got 131 kills. They had Veteran C, so I'm not sure. They must have had Stand Firm. If they did, that would explain everything, I think. The Yari Samurai, I don't really like Yari Samurai. They're sort of there. They kind of captured a building and then came back, but... Anyway, this has been the Yukitsu Times, and I hope to see you all next time.